Josh, we back.
We are back.
We back. Another episode.
Indeed.
Honest Exchanges podcast. How's everything going?
Things are going good. How about you?
Things are all right. I'm here talking to you, so it's good.
So
it's good.
I just got to say this.
What?
Before we even go any further.
Uh-huh.
People are loving the podcast.
Are they?
Are
what are the people saying? What are the streets saying?
The streets are saying we want more. We want more.
Okay. All right.
We want more. Great
For
conversations.
Uh-huh.
And great feedback, especially about distractions.
Oh, really?
So that was a heavy one.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think we're going to have to run that back at some point.
Yeah. That was all you. You had a lot on your mind that time. So we had to get it off. And I was happy we posted it where it was a little bit after the whole debacle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it still was relevant enough where I feel like people could understand the points we was making.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like out of people's memories.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Still fresh.
But no, I really appreciate that feedback. I always want feedback.
Yeah.
Positive, negative. I mean, if it's negative, we'll have to see, how that goes.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I like people commenting and letting us know.
Yeah.
And we're going to be giving them an opportunity soon to tell us what they want us to talk about.
Yes, we are.
So that's coming.
Yes,
that's coming. Okay, you got to wait for that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you about something a little sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put a little trigger warning out there.
All right.
I mean, all of our topics, I think, are sensitive, but this one is a little different because I wanted us to touch on grief. I wanted us to touch on trauma. And what made me think about this is when I was like looking through some of our old episodes, literally the first episode, I asked you, I was like, well, what are you going to be talking about on Honest Exchanges? And you was like, I want to talk about grief.
Yeah.
I want to talk about trauma. And I want to talk about experiences that you have to go through that you don't always agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make sure we circle back to that one.
Absolutely.
Because I know that last year you lost your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I still keep you and your family in my prayers because I know grief is an ongoing thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much time has passed. Yeah. And when you lose the matriarch in your family, I know that that's heavy. So I want to just first start out with that. But I felt like I really wanted us to also talk about this because I really admire and respect the way you have been handling that. And of course, this is from an outside perspective. You know what's been going on in terms of your feelings, emotions, and thoughts and everything. But I just really admire and respect how you took time after that to really like absorb what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot of people, men and women included, but I think a lot of men, they would just keep working.
Yeah.
Or just keep doing. Yeah. And I know you didn't stop doing, but they would like try to like mask how they were feeling with just duties and responsibility. Mm-hmm. And that's not healthy.
Right.
Because it's either you're going to deal with it now or deal with it later. Yeah. So I think for me seeing you, and I'm sure others would agree with me, that to see you experiencing that loss, mm-hmm. and to see how you took the time for yourself, but you were still, it seemed like you were still present. Like you made sure you created that time where you were able to really go through your process. But then when you did come back, I felt like, I don't know, it was just inspirational. You know what I mean? Like, I just think about the heaviness of that loss. Mm-hmm. And from what I remember you telling me, it wasn't like it was a long period of time between when you first found out and then, your mom transitioned. So it was not even like you had a long time to like wrestle with that reality. So I just want to let you know I admire you for so many different reasons, not just that, but I really respect how you are a man who speaks about therapy. You speak about grief. You speak about soul care, rest, relax. You speak about things that are emphasizing how important it is for us to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
So how are you doing?
So I think I in my opinion, I'm doing great. I don't know that we can quantify how a person is doing
Mm-hmm.
in terms of grief, because even when we look at the different stages and phases of it, um, it's different for every person,
Mm-hmm.
because the relationship dynamic of the person who transitioned with that person
Yeah.
are different.
Right. Right.
So I think that it can vary. Other thing about it is that it ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can be washing dishes
Mm.
and have a moment and break down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, Dr. Arjane Pitts from Light of the World said in a workshop, it's not the birthdays and anniversaries, it's the highs and the lows that you really miss your loved ones.
Mm.
Your high places, your pivotal places when you accomplish things,
Mm-hmm.
and your low places
Right.
when you normally go to them
Mm-hmm.
for a shoulder to cry
Mm-hmm.
on, to lay on their lap,
Yeah.
and to find comfort.
Yeah.
And so for me, there's some things that I had to understand through this journey. So Sunday, December the 8th, we went, my mother was at the hospital, and I remember as soon as I got done preaching, Brother Juan saying, "Come on, you gotta come right downstairs."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "What's going on?"
Right.
Like, I'm like,
Right.
and telling me I need to get to the hospital. My sisters were there, my mom, and I remember these words that my mom said to her doctor: "I choose quality of life over quantity of
Mm-hmm.
life." Now, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, we looking at each other like, hold up.
Right. Right.
Do whatever y'all got to do so that she can live as long as
Mm-hmm.
possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had to set in and register to us, and we had to accept
Yeah.
what she had already accepted.
Mm.
And so from December the 8th, 2025 to March 10th, to December the 8th, 2024
Mm-hmm.
to March 10th, 2025, when my mom transitioned. That was a process. And it happened very fast. I remember praying one prayer: God, allow my mom to make it to see my anniversary.
Mm.
Not even, she doesn't have to be in the service.
Yeah.
But just allow her to be
Mm-hmm.
alive.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, the Monday after my anniversary, I always go away.
Mm-hmm.
That day, I didn't go away.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. And then that Monday, I came home and I went and got me something to eat. And I came and I was sitting downstairs. My older sister was upstairs. And I remember her saying, "Josh, I think something's wrong."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going up there, and I already knew
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
she was getting ready to transition.
Mm-hmm.
But I had already made peace
Yeah.
with God, because one of the process that I feel is associated with grief is being able to accept what you cannot change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And being okay with what God won't change God's mind about, And so it literally was a journey of acceptance. But I'd rather see my mother at peace than in pain.
Right. Right.
I'd rather that was important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately to all my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the part about grief that makes it a little bit easier is when you don't have to grieve alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really important.
Wow.
Having siblings who can shoulder the pain with you, who you can talk through things with.
Yeah.
You cry, they have moments to cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got moments to cuss. They got moments to cuss.
Right, right.
Like, 'cause let's be real.
Yeah.
When you grieve anything,
Mm-hmm.
you can't dictate the emotions.
No, not at all. Not at
You,
all.
you can't dictate the emotions. And when we look at grief, the transition of someone or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So all of us have had to grieve at some point in
At
life.
some point, yeah, so true.
Relationships, jobs, transitioning from one school to the next school.
Yeah.
Friendships.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even the grief of, and I didn't think about this till we started talking about this. Transitioning from one religion to another religion.
Mm.
Even if you feel like you've come to a greater light,
Mm-hmm.
there's still a transition and some grief that takes place because now you have to leave behind some things
Mm-hmm.
that were a part of that other religion that you still were fond of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mess with my brother all the time. I'm like, you know, I know you smell like bacon. I know.
Right, right. And he probably grieving it. You know what I mean? He can't say that, but
Right.
you know, like
but that's a form of grief.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
where
for
I'm
sure.
used to if I'm Christian, you know, and now I'm practicing Islam, Judaism, you know, I'm used to going to church with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to listening to church music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to praying a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Like, that's a transition
Yeah.
that I now have to
Grieve. Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that grief has to be understood as something that can happen in any sphere
Mm-hmm.
of life.
Yeah, for sure. Because of course, I think when we first hear the word grief, we just automatically do think of when somebody has transitioned. But it's really important that we're able to define when we're grieving, maybe even unmet expectations,
Mm.
whether it's ourselves or even other people.
Yeah.
And giving it that title so we know why we feel the way we feel.
Yeah.
And what are like the 5 stages of grief, like bargaining, acceptance, anger. I forgot the other 2, but like those are all emotions that go when you wanted something or expected something and it turned out totally different than what you thought or what you wanted. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think when we can say I'm grieving that I wanted to be a mother and that never happened for me.
Wow.
I'm grieving that I wanted to get a college education, but it just seemed like it was never in the cards.
Yeah.
I'm grieving this person that I fumbled, you know, friendship or even romantic relationship. I wasn't in a space to give them what they needed. And I'm grieving that. So I think when we can say that I'm grieving that, then we can look at it like, I have to heal in the same way that I commended you for taking the time for yourself. It got to be the same thing when you're grieving something that didn't go the way you wanted it to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a part of the healing is acknowledgement.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
You know, I say to people, I gotta be strong. I can't let them see me weak. Wait a minute, that's strange. if something that you love transitions,
yeah,
and you feel no emotion,
right?
That's strange.
Absolutely.
And let me say, we gonna clarify.
PSA.
PSA. It is strange for you to say you don't hurt, you don't cry when you experience transition.
Right.
That's strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it should make you question some things about your heart.
Absolutely.
If emotions are not stirred up, you know, if the relationship end and you walk away smiling,
right?
Even if it had some domestic parts of it, that doesn't mean that clearly it had some love parts of it too,
Right.
because you stuck around.
Right.
And so we sometimes try to show up in such a way that people don't see our vulnerability.
Absolutely.
And for
Absolutely.
me, I had no other choice but to be vulnerable. I had no other choice. Paul says it like this, you know, my grace is sufficient. My strength is made perfect in weakness. So in order for me to experience the strength of God,
Yeah.
I need to allow myself to be
weak.
That requires vulnerability.
Absolutely.
So I can't show up as the pastor who can counsel people, who can preach the sermon. No, I gotta admit, listen, I've been praying not to bleed on the people when I stand.
Yeah.
That was a part of my prayer. I don't want to bleed on the people when I stand. I don't want to preach out of my pain.
Yeah.
You know, but even in my pain, I still have an assignment. And so when you talk about continuing to go on, that's the difference between what you said, masking versus fulfilling your assignment even while you're healing.
And hurting.
Yeah. I'm acknowledging that when Brother Darryl played this song, it makes me cry. But I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
I'm going to dry my eyes, and then I'm going to get up and do what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not, hey, let me walk out. Let me get myself together. Let me, come on, man up, Josh. Man up.
Yeah.
What?
No.
No. I showed up as a man.
Yeah. Right. And you're going to leave as a man.
Exactly.
It don't change because I let a few tears fall. And that's one thing that, I mean, I like this conversation because you probably get to hear stuff from me that I never told you before. But these are the things that appeal to me, being under your, what they call it, tutelage?
Tutelage. Guidance.
You know, we always got to get some laughs in there. But no, just seeing, you know, because I'm a very observant person. And I don't go based off of everything people say. I go based off, I got to see how you move, see how you operate, and see if I can feel some sort of attachment to that or respect for that. You know what I'm saying? So that was one thing that I always also admire about you, is that you never stopped your emotions.
Yeah.
And I noticed that early on. And to be honest, it was a shock for me because, especially with a man, because men are not taught to do that. So I think that's also why when you took the time that you needed after your mom transitioned, why it kind of like, it was noticeable to me. Like, wow, this man is saying like, I'm taking some time. And not just trying to power through, angry and just hurting and healing and acting like you're better than what you really are.
Yeah.
So it's like you are actively doing, and I think I mentioned this on one of our last episodes, like you actively do what you're encouraging other people to do, especially men.
Yeah. I mean, how can we expect people to follow us? So follow me as I follow Christ. But yet I allow you to see my spirituality, but I don't show you that I still have humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And showing humanity is not just in emotions. Showing humanity is also in understanding that I need grace and mercy too. You know, and so for me, the one thing that we had to remember in the process of grief is that even when it gets difficult, if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody
With nobody else. Yeah.
So I realized, you know what? I need to take some Sundays off. You know, And I was a little nervous.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm nervous, like any pastor, when you gotta be out, you like, are people gonna still show up? Like, are we gonna take a hit? Like, how is this gonna affect us? When you have people around you who love you,
Yeah.
they will be present. And I'm grateful, and I try to share that a lot when I came back, that I'm grateful for the St. Paul Church, because the support, being there on Sundays, even though I was not there, was a form of love and support. Being able to receive. But the other thing I also recognize, and I talked about this, my mother transitioned, but so did the church mother.
Yeah, definitely.
So it wasn't just me that took a hit, and my siblings and my family. The church took a hit. My faith community took a hit. Other congregations that are connected to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we funeralized my mother at my home church, and I mean, it was packed to capacity.
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
Classrooms and
it was like
chapels and copying programs. I think we were like 800 programs. Like,
it was intense.
And it was like the love of the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
The love of the community.
Absolutely.
That gives you strength. I've done funerals, and I've seen 3 people sit in the audience.
3?
3.
Wow.
And said, wow. So to see that kind of demonstration,
wow,
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
If I could connect my brain to the screen and show you the picture of what I seen looking around, that panoramic view.
Yeah.
I couldn't even go into the other rooms to see, but just hearing about it, like, what I mean? Friends, sibling friends telling us like, yo, they was in there, like
heavy.
And so it's things like that that actually help. It actually help you through the process. I believe my pain was defining my purpose. And so now I had to go from hurting to understanding how my hurt could help somebody else.
Yeah.
And honestly, that 2025 looked like that. 4 more members outside of my mom transitioned from the church that I had to funeralize. And then first surgery ever in July that put me back down. And here comes and here's more grief added on to what I'm already grieving.
Right.
And I'm sitting in the hospital bed. Because after the first 2 days, they stopped giving me the good stuff to help me sleep.
Still sound a little bitter about that.
I am. Something about that good stuff that put you down.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm in the hospital bed in the middle of the night, tired of watching Law and Order SVU. And I'm just like, whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And so I didn't get busy. I got to work on forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so workshops and conference this year, and I finished these. I have 3 books that I got to write and finish. And I'm believing that by the end of this year, I'm gonna get them finished. Like ideas,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, preparing leaders and all these things.
Yeah.
Literally, I didn't get busy. I got to work because one thing grief reminds you is that time waits for nobody. It pushes you to a space where you understand that just like that loaf of bread, you got an expiration date. And you can either sit or you can be used.
Yeah.
But if you sit, you're going to mold.
Talk about it. That was good.
You sit too long, you're going to mold into something that has to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Instead of being used properly.
Right. Right. Wow. That was good.
So
yeah,
it was like, all right, I can't die in this season because there's an assignment that I have to fulfill. God does not give you a break because you're grieving. I mean, think about it. Jesus knew, and this is the Lenten season, Jesus was on his way to facing the cross.
Yeah.
But never let up on a moment to heal somebody, to help somebody, to teach somebody.
Yeah.
Because even when you know your fate is pressing you, he's up on the cross dying and still says, today you're going to be with me in paradise. Huh? So if Jesus is in agony and in pain, but still offering salvation, then what does that say to us?
Yeah. Wow. Whew. Says a lot.
Yeah.
Says a lot. Yeah.
It's heavy. It's heavy, but it's a reminder. It's a reminder that you can rediscover purpose in grief. You look at grief in such a negative way.
Yeah.
But what about when grief covers your eyes to open your eyes? I think about Bishop Avenger's sermon. The boy was blind, but he covered his eyes with the clay. I already can't see.
Right. Like, what are we doing this for?
Putting more on my eyes.
Right.
But his eyes had to be covered even more.
Yeah.
So that he could fully see.
Yeah.
So the question that has to be raised when we think about the moments of grief in our lives is, what were our eyes closed to that now we can see as we journey through the process of grief?
Yeah. Yeah. If we're taking the time to really process what's happening.
Yeah.
Because we naturally, we don't want to feel the pain.
No.
We don't want to face the reality. And this is one of the reasons why there are so many addictions. And not just alcohol or substance. There's plenty of addictions, you know what I mean? But doing things that bring that temporary pleasure because we would rather, I mean, it's just a natural biological thing. We would rather avoid pain and maximize pleasure. So it's like, if you're in your grieving season, whatever that might be, because again, we already established that it's not only a death or a transition of a loved one, it's so many different things that you can grieve in your life. But when you're sitting with it, which is the hardest thing you could ever do, then I feel your eyes could really be open. Like, what is this teaching me? And letting yourself go through those feelings, not immediately going into, oh, well, what is this teaching me? No, you're going to need your time to be angry. You're going to need your time to cry. You're going to need your time to just be numb. Like, I'm not saying that you got to get right the action and right the work, but while you're going through that process, especially when you have faith, you know that there has to be something more happening that I can't see or understand. So, Lord, that becomes your prayer. Like, Lord, expose what I'm supposed to be seeing right now in any way you need to, because there might be times you need to cuss. I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a support advocate of profanity, but I'm just saying, like, you got to get it out.
Yeah.
You got to get it out. And not
Absolutely.
just suppress. And now you going off on a person in a grocery store for accidentally hitting your cart because you haven't processed nothing of that what you was grieving or feeling. So it's just something that it's so hard though. It's hard to extract the things that need to be extracted for you to get it and learn and grow as a result and not become bitter or angry. Because grief is a part of life.
Yes.
And it sucks. Like, it ain't no other way it sucks. It's not a good feeling at all. But when you sit with it and, like you said, have people around, whether it's your siblings, close friends, even, members of your community or in the church who you can share these things with and be honest about it and who could hold you up, I think you'll be better for it.
Yeah.
Even though you would rather avoid it, but that's why I think conversations like these are necessary.
Yeah.
To encourage and be able to express how important it is that you deal with it now versus later.
Yeah.
And don't just keep putting it off, because you can't grow that way.
No.
And you can't walk in your assignment. And you can't be a blessing to somebody else by just sharing your story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know how many people you've blessed and inspired just by you being obedient to what God has called you to do, even during this season. And it's an ongoing season. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know sometimes you don't nobody want to hear that. Like, I don't care about nobody else right now. Like, I'm struggling. What about me? You know what I'm saying? But it's not about us all the time.
No.
And that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. If you don't deal with your grief will deal with you.
Yep.
And I see it. And family members who have not taken the time to properly grieve and when I say properly grieve, gotten the help.
Yes.
Because you can't grieve alone.
Mm-mm.
You can't. There are professionals to help you through the grief process.
Yes.
And it was, I was adamant from the moment, that December 8th, 2024, that week, I called my therapist and said, listen, I see you. I didn't advance because I've used the tools to being able to go to therapy once a quarter. But this season, I need to talk to you a little more than that, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know Monday from Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I know is I don't need to go through this just thinking, let me just pray about it. Let me just give it to the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it to the Lord.
Right.
And the Lord gave me a resource. Therapy.
Right. Exactly. Right.
He
gave me, like you said, he gave me a resource, not me feeling like, my faith, of course, is the foundation of everything, but I need practical and tangible tools.
Absolutely.
In those moments where my faith is waning, my belief is waning, I'm angry, I'm upset. I need practical tools. I need practical things to help me along.
Yeah.
Faith, again, is the foundation. But like you said, God gives resources, he gives provision, and it doesn't make you weak for accessing them.
Yeah. If God is the source, then everything else God gives you to help make you better is the resource.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to, the question becomes, do you think you're God?
Mm.
Dr. Zena Jock said, we have to remember that we are not little Yahwehs. And when you are always the one to solve people's problems
Mm-hmm.
and give people the advice and the counsel and to coach them through and to push them through and motivate them, you will find yourself operating almost like a little Yahweh.
Yeah, that's like a thing. They call it savior complex.
Yes.
Always like coming to the
Absolutely.
rescue.
Yeah.
And you get a rush, adrenaline rush, or some sort of release of endorphins from that.
Mhm. But what happens when you as the savior can't save your own self?
Mm. Well, I think that might be part of it. If I'm always helping you with your problems, I don't gotta face mine. I could feel good because I feel like I'm making some sort of moves, even if I can't help myself.
Mhm.
I'd rather focus on you than I focus on me.
A savior complex is in opposition to walking in purpose.
Mm. Mm.
Because how can you walk in purpose if you think you're a savior when there's only one savior
Yeah.
of the world?
Yeah.
And God never said, I need help in being a savior.
Sure ain't.
Bear one another burdens.
Yeah.
Keep each other's arms lifted. But don't come to a place where you feel like you have become God.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality is God is a jealous God who will have no other gods besides him. And so God is jealous when we allow people to become gods and lords in our lives.
Our saviors.
And sometimes one of the reasons why we're grieving is because God has removed the people who we treated as saviors. I can't live without, I don't know how I'm going to go on without you.
Wow. Like idols. So we're going to come back to this because it's a lot. And I want to just have two parts to it so that we can, talk a little more about grief, trauma, and enduring hard experiences.
Sounds good to me.